What's up guys, my name is Matt and every single one of my past projects have been focused on PvE content. And I'm sure there's a lot of you PvP guys out there that wanted me to do a PvP based project. And as someone such as myself who strongly dislikes the Crucible, this wasn't really an option. But thanks to my good friend Cody SCM over at Destiny Follower, I'm able to provide you a project I called Project Shaxx, which takes an in-depth look at the loot from 100 control matches. As always, if you want to take a deeper look at the data collected, the link to the spreadsheet can be found in the description. And in addition, if you are new to the channel or you have missed any of my past projects, I've created a playlist for your convenience which can be found in the description as well. Now at this point, I'm not even doing this part of the video for the impatient viewers. It's more of a convenience thing, so if you only have time for a quick summary, skip to the time shown on screen now. For everyone else, let's talk numbers. To start off, a few disclaimers about the project itself, as well as some general rules of thumb. First, I always want to remind you guys that these projects are small in size when compared to the scope of Destiny. So even though I say it in every video, please do not go out and jump into Control expecting identical results. RNG is and will always remain just that. RNG. For the project itself, very little was excluded in the data collection, as Crucible is very straightforward when it comes to loot. So with that said, the only relevant information not collected was where myself and Cody placed on our team and overall in the game. So there's no information on whether we did terrible or we were top of our team. We did, however, collect data on the map, whether we won or lost, if we received an exotic from a 3 of coins, and all in-game loot, including blues, legendary weapons, legendary class items, motes, and strange coins. With this project, I set out to answer 5 questions. Does any map have a heavier weighting in the control playlist? What is the exotic drop rate, and does it differ from any of my past projects? How many motes of light and strange coins were received over 100 Crucible matches? Does winning affect drops? And does any weapon have a higher drop rate than others in the control playlist? So let's jump into the first question. Does any map have a heavier weighting in the control playlist? And I'm going to say right now, it's rare in my projects to answer a question with, I'm unsure. I can tell you there are 24 maps in the rotation, and maps such as Vertigo and Widow's Court appeared 8 times each, while other maps didn't appear often, and maps such as Floating Gardens only appeared once. This is another one of those cases where I feel the sample size is too small to confirm or deny a weighting in a map rotation. But based on the sample we do have, I'm going to assume that the maps, based on the fact that most of the maps appeared at an equal rate, if you ignore the few oddballs such as Floating Gardens and Vertigo, are equally likely to appear. But for now, this is still up in the air and would require further testing to answer it with certainty. The next question, what is the exotic drop rate from 3 coins, and does it differ from any of my past projects? Over the course of 100 control matches, we'd receive 16 exotics, or 16% of the time. And in this specific case and set of data, it does differ from my other projects, which all reliably dropped exotics 1/5 of the time. But while discussing this with Cody, we're still standing by my previous guess and assumption of a 20% drop rate. While that number is still not 100% confirmed, it is likely that if myself and Cody went out and did 100 more control matches, we would likely see something close to 24 drops, which in turn would just bring us right back in line with the 20% drop rate. But I will state that is a large difference. A 4% change is a huge change in terms of drop rates. So like I've stated, that while I try to avoid opinions in videos, I'm making assumptions when I state this. I still believe the drop rate to be 20%, even if the data contradicts that in this current circumstance. I've stated already in this video and many times in my other videos, remember that RNG is RNG, and this set of data is a prime example of what I believe to simply be bad luck. Now, the third question was not only included for science, but also to put a few misconceptions to rest. A lot of people have said that the Crucible is just as good as my strange coin farming method when it comes to strange coins. So I wanted to know, how many motes of light and strange coins can you receive over 100 Crucible matches? And the answer, simply put, is 38 motes and 30 strange coins. But that's not enough information for you guys, so let's look at it a little deeper. For motes of light, they drop in a range of 1 mote to 3 motes per drop, and collectively dropped about 20% of the time at a rate of about 0.3 motes per game, or roughly 1 mote per 3 games. Now I do want to say, while this number is abysmal, Crucible is actually a very viable place to farm them, because while exclusively looking at the endgame drops, they are a terrible way to farm motes. But killing Guardians, capturing points, finishing the match, and winning the match all result in XP, ultimately getting you more motes, which provides a decent amount of motes in return. But when it comes to strange coins, however, they drop in groups of 1 or 2 coins, and drop roughly 21% of the time. And as I stated, this resulted in only 30 strange coins, which is only about 0.3 coins per game. And even in the best case scenario, where you gain 210 rep for Crucible and 105 for your Allegiance faction, it would only gain an additional 48 coins, putting you at only 78 coins. And to even achieve this, you would have to win every game over the course of 100 games to accomplish this. So ultimately, most are feasibly farmed in the Crucible, but strange coins are not acquired frequently enough to warrant farming them in the Crucible. And the last two questions, like most of my other projects, I'll be answering these at the same time. Those being, does win rate affect drops, and does any weapon have a higher drop rate compared to the others in the control playlist? So over 100 games, we received a total of 25 items. 5 class items, and 20 weapons. 7 of those drops, 6 which were weapons and 1 that was a class item, was awarded from winning a game, and 18 of the drops, 14 weapons and 4 class items, from losses, with an overall win rate of about 47%. So with this, I can confidently say that wins and losses don't affect your drops in any way, shape, or form. But when asking if a weapon has a higher chance of dropping, it gets interesting. Sort of. Over the 100 games, we received 1 2020 AMR7, 1 77 Wizard, 3 Cryptic Dragons, 1 Hexcaster, 2 Ill Wills, 4 Matadors, 6 Steel Oracles, and 2 Unending Deluge 3s, as well as never receiving a Hopscotch Pilgrim while recording the data, but we did receive them in the past, so we know it's possible. And from this information, I can assume one of two things. Either Control has a greater chance of dropping weapons, such as the Cryptic Dragon, Matador, and Steel Oracle, and other playlists would result in a different weighting, such as, for example, prioritizing the Hopscotch Pilgrim or the Hexcaster, or our sample size is simply too small to make an assumption. Regardless of which is actually the case, in the future we will be testing other playlists such as Supremacy, Clash, and Rumble and comparing data. But for now, I'm going to assume this is due to sample size and there's no weighting, but I could be wrong. So if you've made it this far, there was a ton of information covered, so I feel like it's time for a quick summary. If you skipped to here, you missed a lot, so prepare yourself for a lot of info. The Control playlist has 24 maps in rotation, and these maps don't appear to have any weighting that causes them to appear more or less often. Even though maps like Vertigo appeared 8 times and Floating Gardens only appeared once, the rest of the maps were fairly equal in likelihood. Exotics did differ from past projects, only dropping at 16% of the time, but I'm still standing by my assumption that RNG is RNG, and a larger sample size would produce something closer to my guess and assumption of a 20% drop rate. We received 38 motes and 30 strange coins. Motes being in line with other methods of farming due to the XP gains from actually playing the Crucible, while strange coins just don't make the cut compared to other methods. When it comes to win rate, it doesn't appear to affect the drops. And this was solidified by the fact that we received more drops upon losing opposed to winning, even though our collective win rate was roughly 47% of the time. And from the data at hand, based on sample size, I can't confirm or deny a stronger weighting on specific weapons dropping in the Control playlist. However, in this specific set of data, the Cryptic Dragon, Matador 64, and Steel Oracle did drop more often. At the end of the video, I want to state this again. Please do not take this data at any more than just a guideline. While the data collected is accurate, that doesn't mean your experience will be identical. I know if you guys watch my videos, you know this by now, but I still feel like I need to state this. In addition, if you missed my last video, my friends over at Multilux Recordings have provided you guys with a Discord server that is open to everyone. So if you'd like a place to talk with me and my friends, other viewers, or even your own friends outside of YouTube, my stream, and Twitter, the link is in the description. I want to thank you guys again for your support. I thanked you guys for 10K in my last video, and we're already creeping towards 12K at the time of recording this video, and that's absolutely insane. And for those of you that are wondering where the Heroic Strikes video is, that project is underway and will be out soon, I hope. So be on the lookout for that. But for now, I'm gonna get out of here. Say my name is Matt, and I'll see you guys next time.